Hello, my loves. I hope you guys are doing well. Welcome in to this day 4 video of the 30 days of Ho'oponopono. This is going to be a discussion about Ho'oponoponoing self-harm. And then we will be offering up, or I will be offering up, a practice video, which will be separate from this video, but I'll record it and post it right after this one, where we work on applying the practice of Ho'oponopono to self-harm. So before we begin, before I even jump into anything more than the intro, I want to first offer up my Ho'oponopono to you. Ho'oponopono is these 4 phrases. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. I am sorry. I am sorry. I am sorry. I am sorry. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. Thank you. 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 So, to recap what Ho'oponopono is Ho'oponopono is a Hawaiian healing technique made popular by Dr. E. Haleakula Hugh Lin. His story is titled or described in the book Zero Limits by Joe Vitale. If you go to our Ho'opono page on our website, Ho'oponopono page on our website, you can access the Joe Vitale audiobook. It's there. There's also an interview with the devoted on this very topic. That's at devotedandvulnerable.com/Ho'oponopono. It's linked in the description so you don't have to figure out how to spell it. So we are going to be talking about Ho'oponopono in a really deep way today. Today is the new moon in Scorpio. I also do astrology readings and follow the moon phases and the solar phases and offer guidance based on that. So if you want to check that out, go to the readings section of the website. Ho'oponopono is a practice for healing. Miraculous healing has been, what's the word I'm looking for? Documented. After the use of this powerful technique. I myself have experienced the shifts, the beauty, the release, the humility of the practice many, many, many times. So essentially the philosophy behind it is that everything that's going on in the outside world is a reflection of what's going on in your inner world. Ho'oponopono takes reality to be a mirror to what's our inner world. And so Ho'oponopono, the phrases, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, are offered up to help to release, transmute, let go of any projection that we have of the outside world being responsible for what it is that we're feeling inside, if that makes sense. So whatever it is that's upsetting you about an outward situation, if you watch the reflection of it and genuinely, honestly, humbly ask yourself, is this going on within me? And if it is, are you willing to address it, to take responsibility for it, to apologize to yourself for experiencing that and going through that, apologize to the other for bringing that to your experience so that you could heal it, so that you could see it, so that you could clean on it and offer it love and understanding and release it from your experience so that you no longer have to go through the lesson or the pain or the judgment. You are able to see what's going on within and you're able to clear it. So that is Ho'oponopono in a nutshell. I've posted every day of November so far with offerings about the practice, what it is, and utilizing the practice in a meditative state. So if you want to know more about it, please feel free to check out those other videos. Today's video is a deep dive. Like I said, we are celebrating the new moon in Scorpio, which is all about the deep diving energy, and we are diving deep into this one, okay? This video did not start off with this topic. When I was formulating my topic for today, the topic was going to be Ho'oponoponoing the people who are on the opposite side of the narrative that we currently believe and hold to be true. There are so many narratives out there that we could choose, and there are so many that seem unacceptable to us at this point. And when I got into this energy, what I started getting down to and what I actually heard was dive deeper, dive deeper, dive deeper. So as I started diving deeper, I started trying to find the common ground. Where is the common ground between all of us? What is really going on here? Well, what I saw was that all of us, I think I speak for all of us, are upset at the other side because in our perception, they are doing harm, and that is unacceptable. It's not acceptable. It's not acceptable to do harm to our human brothers and sisters. It's not acceptable. And we see the other side as engaging in activities that we believe are harming those that we love. So, let's bring Ho'oponopono in here. What's the reflection? We are seeing harm being done. Here's the question, my loves. Here's the big, deep dive. Are you ready? Are you causing harm to yourself in any way? Are you causing harm to yourself mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually? Are you? Is it going on within you? Is it? Can you see it? I can see it. I can see inside myself where I've been causing myself harm. I admit to it. So when I do these chats, I really share with y'all my own experience, my own truth, my own understanding and revelations, being as vulnerable as I can here with you. I cause myself harm. I do. I can see it. So as upset as I am at what I see in the outside world, what can I change? What can I change? What can I actually do? I can make sure that I'm addressing the harm that I do to myself. That I take responsibility for the harm I am doing to myself. That I make choices to relieve the harm I am doing to myself. Because until I stop that, how can I be mad at it showing up in the mirror? What rights do I have to be mad at it showing up in the mirror when it's going on within me? And the mirror wants me to see it. Wants to help me see it. Wants to push me until I have to look inside. Until I have to address it. Because it loves me. The mirror loves me. The mirror wants me to see myself clearly. That's the Ho'oponopono revelation that I had when I started looking into the so very popular topic that we have been struggling with carrying the weight of for over a year. We're harming ourselves. And if you can say that you're not harming yourself, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Because I don't want to see you harmed. I don't want to see harm in the world. And I'm grateful that you have been able to see yourself clearly enough to know, to evaluate, to take action on the harm that you cause yourself. And sure, perhaps you can start getting upset about what's going on in the outside world. Perhaps you need to get upset about it, or perhaps we just need to see how you've been acting in a way that doesn't do any harm to yourself, and we can learn from you. But here's the other question. Okay, you're not doing harm to yourself, but are you doing harm to another in any way? In any way? Emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually, have you caused harm today? Have you wished somebody badly? Have you gotten frustrated and sent energy daggers towards someone? Have you engaged in commerce with systems where people are not inspired doing what they're doing. They feel like they have no choice. Is that harm? Is it? How much harm are we doing in the outside world? It's a question. It's a question I think about a lot. But as I address the harm that I'm doing in the outside world and minimize that as much as I can, my first priority has to be me. I talk about this all the time. As soon as I realized it, it made so much sense. If you are not centered in yourself, if you are not the center of your reality, you are off balance. It's the nature of it. You get to be the center of your reality. If you're sacrificing yourself for somebody else, you're doing harm to yourself for that person. As noble as that is, ultimately, it's self-destructive. And that person doesn't want you to harm yourself. And if they do, why would you intentionally harm yourself for them? It's just a question. So this topic of self-harm, the harm that we cause ourselves, really came from this ho'oponoponoing this current situation. What are we seeing as so abhorrent out there? And is it within ourselves? Can we see it? Can we? Can we acknowledge it? Can we take responsibility for it? Can we own it? I'll talk about my self-harm. Mentally. Okay, mentally, you know what I do to harm myself? I think of worst case scenarios almost constantly. I'm constantly trying to avoid worst case scenarios. I also tell myself that I can't sing. I also tell myself that no one's ever going to support me or listen to me. They're all going to think I'm a witch and want to burn me. I mentally tell myself that I'm a terrible person for the life experiences that I've had and I should never be forgiven for them. Physically, let's talk about physical abuse. I have come a long way with the way that I treat my body. I used to put things, lots of chemicals, lots of toxins, lots of dairy, which actually really hurts my being. I can feel myself like getting all like clogged up when I eat dairy. All sorts of food ingesting physically that wasn't serving me. I've come a long way with that, but physically I will sometimes push myself and bruise myself or not pay attention to what I'm doing. I hit my head today on a wall because I was trying to lean on it and look cute, and then I hit it really hard. That's me harming myself physically. It is. I just harmed myself physically there. I wasn't present in the moment. I was trying to achieve an outcome. But hitting my head was trying to bring my attention to that. I don't need to do that. I don't need to be anything other than me. So that's physical harm that I do. What is another physical harm that I do? This is kind of a mental harm too, but it's this story that I tell myself about how painful my period is. I will constantly tell myself I'm going to have a painful period. My period is painful. That's just what is true for me. But I'm shaming my body in that time of the month, and I'm replaying a memory of when, of feminine trauma, of all collective feminine trauma. Like I'm replaying that in my physical being, and I'm putting myself through that because I'm playing into that narrative and I'm experiencing it. So clearly, because I'm experiencing it, there must be a belief or a thought that's causing it. This is part of my belief system. Again, this chat really isn't to try to convince you of anything. It's really to show you the process of Ho'oponopono and how it kind of like starts over here, but then it ends up like, woo, way over there. But there's truth there for you. Like, again, you don't have to watch this any further or get anything more out of this than are you doing self-harm. But these are different ways that I've found that I'm doing self-harm. So I'm trying to expand on them so that you can really be honest with yourself about what you might be doing physically to harm yourself. My voice is scratchy right now. I'm losing my voice. Well, what? That's harm, right? That's not loving to my voice. Well, have I not drank enough water today? Maybe I didn't do enough tea. Maybe I didn't do enough honey. Maybe I talked too much. Maybe I smoked too much. Like, what is it? What did I do? Talking about that, right? That's self-harm. Okay, so we covered mental and physical. Let's go to emotional. Emotionally, what do I do to harm myself? Emotionally, I'll go to the past a lot. Yeah, I like to get stuck in the past, and I mentioned this in the mental, but I like to beat myself up about what happened in the past. And I like to go to the future emotionally and see worst case scenarios playing out and feel how I would feel if life went that way. I also emotionally hurt myself by telling myself that my emotions aren't valid, and therefore I choke down the expression of them because I'm afraid of the authentic expression of them and whether they'll be received spiritually. Let's talk about my spiritual harm. The harm that I do spiritually is when I engage in any activity that's out of alignment with natural law. Natural law is do no harm to another being or yourself. So I do feel that I harm myself spiritually because my spirit knows that we're all connected. My spirit believes that you are a part of me and I am a part of you, and at the center of all of these experiences that we're having individually is one common core of love. And so when I act against any part of me in the outer world or in the inner world, I am engaging in self-harm in some way or some level. And that hurts me spiritually because that's not what my spirit wants. I don't want to harm you. I don't. I want to love you. I want to see you thrive. I want to see you shine and radiant and happy and safe and joyous and adventurous and absolutely in love with your life and everything in it. That's what I want spiritually. So anytime I act out of alignment with what gives that to not only you, but every single member of my human family, I also count my animal kingdom and my plant kingdom, I count the earth as well. I want to do no harm. I want to coexist in a way that brings joy, harmony, abundance to everything I touch and everything that touches me. That's the spiritual harm that I do. So when I look out in the world and I get upset at those people causing harm, I gotta look at me. I gotta start with me. I get to start with me. That's the good news. Oh my gosh, it starts with me. Okay, I'm willing to accept that I've been causing myself harm, and I'm willing to offer ho'oponopono to myself. I'm willing to say, self, I am sorry for all the times I hurt you. Self, I am sorry for all the times that I have caused you pain. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. I didn't know. I wasn't aware. I was scared. I was confused. I didn't have all the information. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. Please forgive me, self. Please. I'm willing to say thank you. Oh my God, self, thank you, thank you. Thank you for all of the harm that you've withstood from me. Ah, you're beautiful. And that brings me to the last ho'oponopono. I love you. I love you, self. I love you, I love you, I love you. I love you, I love you. And then am I willing to offer it to those people that I see as doing harm? Am I willing to apologize to them for judging them for what's inside of me? Am I willing to ask for their forgiveness, for the anger, for the harm, for the negative vibes, beliefs, actions that I've taken towards them? Am I willing to thank them for bringing this to my attention and awareness? And am I willing to love them for showing up for me so that I could be honest with myself and I could take responsibility for what is in my control and trust that by taking responsibility for my inner world, the outer world will reflect that change. It's a mirror, baby. It just wants to reflect us. So we got some work to do when it comes to healing our self-harm. That's the truth of it. And that's the gift that those who have an opposite narrative than you are offering us. If you're ready to offer this up in a meditative practice and journey, please join me in the next video. And as always, Namaste. The universal light within me salutes and honors the universal light within you.